Georgia and Russia are trading barbs and bombs, each side accusing the other of killing innocents in the conflict over the breakaway regions of Georgia. The Georgian president is also accusing Russia of trying to invade the country.
It is so clear what's happening. We are in the process of invasion, occupation, and annihilation of an independent, democratic country.
His comments come hours after a security alert in the Georgian town of Gori saw him being bundled to the ground. The president was joining French Foreign Minister Bernard Kouchner, who had just completed a tour of the destroyed buildings. It comes even as the Georgian leader declared that the country has agreed to a ceasefire proposal by the European envoy, but not so, says Russia, who claims Georgia has resumed the bombing of South Ossetia. Russian and U.S. leaders are also trading barbs. The Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin has accused the U.S. of having a Cold War mentality for supporting Georgia's attempts to retake South Ossetia by force. He also blamed Washington for undermining Moscow's attempts to end the conflict by transporting Georgian troops from Iraq to fight at home. Now, this comes as U.S. leaders condemn Russia's use of force.
This is Abkhazia, one of two breakaway regions in Georgia, the latest front in its conflict with Russia. As its tanks rolled in, Russia issued an ultimatum to Georgian forces near the region to disarm or face attack. In a bid to prevent all-out war, European Union envoys are in Tbilisi, not to secure peace, but just to broker a temporary halt in the fighting.
Peace mission is difficult. We cannot expect, desire, or offer the vision of the future. We have to, Alexander was very precise, we are a fact-finding mission in order to get a ceasefire.
Georgia accepted their proposal, but even before the envoys had a chance to meet with Russian leaders, it was rejected by Moscow. The latest flare-up in fighting began last Thursday when Georgia suddenly sent forces to retake South Ossetia, a pro-Russian province that rejected Georgian rule in the 1990s. The Russian military stepped in to drive out Georgian forces, but now Georgian officials say Russian planes are staging air raids beyond the breakaway regions. The development has attracted the attention of U.S. President George W. Bush, who met the Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin at the Beijing Games.
I expressed my grave concern about the disproportionate response of Russia, and that we strongly condemn bombing outside of South Ossetia.
But the rebel government in South Ossetia says Georgia is also resuming the shelling of residential areas in South Ossetia.
Russia, meanwhile, is seeking an emergency NATO meeting, this according to its envoy to the European body. For more, we spoke to Channel News Asia's Daria Bondarchuk in Moscow. We began by asking her what Russia hopes to achieve with the NATO meeting.
Well, tomorrow, when Georgia's foreign minister will hopefully arrive to Brussels and the NATO Council will be convened, Russia will demand an extraordinary meeting to present Russia's arguments and the truth, as they say, about the methods of the Saakashvili regime and the measures being taken by Russian peacekeepers. So Russia will ideally hope to achieve the complete cease of fire in Tbilisi, in Ossetia, and in Abkhazia. Also, Russia will look forward to returning all sides to the positions they occupied before the conflict struck out. And Russia will look into possibilities of negotiations with Georgia and will facilitate negotiations between Ossetia and Georgia.
Daria also told us what Russia might accept as a final solution to the conflict in the breakaway regions of Georgia.
Well, Russia will look to complete cease of fire. As you know, yesterday Kremlin rejected Georgian ceasefire proposal because, according to the information on the ground, which indicated that Tbilisi was continuing to fight, that was unacceptable for Russia, so it rejected it. Let's hope that the UN mediators, it's the French Foreign Minister Bernard Kouchner and his Finnish counterpart. They were in Tbilisi today, and President Mikhail Saakashvili has signed the document granting the ceasefire. And the UN mediators will travel to Moscow later today and will bring this document and try to persuade Russia to accept this final agreement.